Nice. Am I live? How does this even work? Holy cannoli, chat. I am. Now what? Sweet. What does that do? What? I don't know that was a feature. Okay. Hello, hello. I'm starting a little early, testing things out. Kind of figuring out what we're doing. What is this? Open Studio. I am very clearly new to streaming. So, get ready. Get ready for the most scuffed stream you've seen in a long time. Pop out chat. That's what I wanted. Boom. Cuz I want to see chat. I want to be one of those guys who says chat. We got 2 concurrent viewers. Oh my god. That's insane. That's insane. How many of you guys were sent from CCubed out of curiosity? Like none? Like all of you? How many of you have been to my streams before? Some of you? Y'all just hanging out silently? Am I speaking to myself? I don't know. Well, I guess you should see the mayhem. Those of you who are here, we've got this. Wait, hold on. We got to do a one of these. Yeah, that's my setup currently. It's pretty lit. You should see under the table. It's like just a rat's nest of cables. So I figured I'd go live. I like to go live before my start times, my designated start times, to see if things work. And I don't know if they're working. Let's see. Hello? Is this thing on? Is it working? I guess I'll inform some fellas that I'm live. And see how it goes. Maybe I'll just stream to myself today. Maybe it'll be just me. Nope, you are not. But I am literally misclicked. I see. Okay. Still counts as a view. How many of you, what do we got so far? We got a solid 4. How many of you are like my YouTube viewers, and how many of you are from the CCubed event? And if you're not from the CCubed event, I'll be telling a story. How does YouTube fans work? There's so many features, man. Timestamps? Oh, why would I want timestamps off ever? Why would I want to not know when somebody sent a message? That seems like core information. You know what I mean? You know what? I'll just plug my website this whole time. Like while we're chilling here. Let's see, let me bring chat with me. Hello. TenoGM. How's it going? You are my one chatter today. Until hopefully some more folks show up, but if they don't, we'll just be here. We'll just be here hanging out. That's the game plan. One of my favorite things about making a website is you can kind of just say whatever you want about yourself. Like, technically, my title is research engineer, and I do cloud-based infrastructure, and some of it's HPC, and I do write Python. But when you see your own titles and like skills put on a website, for some reason it feels fake. Like, I do all of these things, but I still feel like, no, I don't. That's like what really smart people do. That's not what I do. You know what I'm saying? Am I crazy? Am I just 27 still with imposter syndrome? So that's probably what's up. I'm not going to start really digging into things until a 6:05-ish, because that's when I said this thing officially starts. So we're just hanging out till then. Feel free to ask questions or something. I'm just bopping around. I kind of want to show off the whole learning process here. Like, I had basically on the CCubed forums, if you're not familiar, I'm partnering with an organization I started a long time ago and then handed off to some very, very bright students. And so I basically told them, hey, partner up with me. I'll run events. I'll run this stream where I teach people stuff and do like a Q&A session kind of thing. Like, think of it like office hours for students, right? And so I promised them some teaching and things, and that starts at 6. So until then, I'm kind of just sitting here hoping. I guess I should probably test some stuff out. I've got this Elgato Camlink thing that we're going to be testing out for viewing my mini PC guy before he gets SSHable. So we'll see how that works. It worked fairly well when I was doing the NAS stream like last week. We'll see if it works again, if it works on this box. Like, it's always a little bit weird when you're not like properly in a desktop environment and you're trying to get screeny sherry things working. But we'll see. We'll see. Nothing too late. Already in my place. Most probably just keep stream background. Sorry for not too much interaction. No worries at all. That's perfectly fine. All right. I kind of expected to have to do some more work first. I mean, I guess I should see if the machine boots. It's been a while since I've used it. So here's some fun stuff. Whenever I'm doing Homelabbing stuff, I've got this like little piece of crap HDMI screen guy that I use. It's got touch, but I literally never use the touch, right? It's just there. So I guess we should take a look. Worst case scenario, I'll just get the machine to the point where I can SSH into it, and then we'll handle it from there. So let's see if this works. Unfortunately, I don't know. Can I get like a desk view? I don't think so. Y'all just gonna have to look at me, my face as I plug things into other things. That's where we're at. You can tell that I'm definitely born to be a professional streamer, right? Yeah. Okay. Honestly, this thing's been sitting in a box. It like survived the move. Well, so far it looks like it survived the move. If it actually survived the move, I'm gonna be very happy about this. That would be pretty sweet. I think it got kind of jostled up. So hopefully we're chilling. Can we just appreciate how insane this is? Hold on. We're just going to do a little, turn that off, right? We've got we've got some turkey jerky. We've got my mini PC, which just has cables going off, and then this, and then I've got the Mac setup happening at the same time. It's that's one way to work. Okay, let's power this thing on, see what happens. So I did have Proxmox installed on this before. Oh, yeah, look at that. We're going to be installing that all from scratch, but good to know it still works. A smarter man, myself, would grab the Cloud init scripts and stuff that I have on this thing, but I'm not that man today. We're going to tank this. All right, what do we got here? Recently catted new enclosure for portable monitor from old iPad screen. From time it was EDP and affordable. Doing a good job in monitoring what you're recording. That's super cool, man. That's awesome. If you have any links or anything on how you did that, feel free to share that here. I don't think I have anything about like getting chat banned for sharing links. So go right ahead. Hi Nathan, discovered your channel through the GNOME Forge video. Oh, really? I'm very surprised at how well that video did. I kind of just threw it out there because it was fun, right? Like, I mean, I guess that's how most people start doing YouTube stuff. But yeah, I sort of threw that out there, and it's had a really good sort of long tail. People have been really picking it up. I guess there's a lot of people interested in tiling without having to go through all of the bananas of Hyperland and that kind of thing. Okay, cool. We are going to have to install Proxmox. I mean, I was going to anyways, but we're going to have to do it because I have forgotten the password. Let's see if I can... Hold on, Deem. We're doing okay. It booted, so we're good. 14 concur. Holy crap. Let's go. Old one. New one still not on the site. Ah. Old one. Oh, I see. Yeah, feel free to share that if you want. I imagine there's going to be a few folks interested in like 3D printing and that kind of thing. If people are here for DevOpsy, Homelab-y stuff. You know what I'm saying? I haven't quite gotten there yet, but I also know it's just a matter of time. It's like I'm into Homelab stuff. I've never been too deep into hardware. Like, and by that I mean cutting my own Ethernet cables, like that kind of thing. But you know it's gonna happen. You know it will. It's like you're in this space for long enough, and eventually you just start going, I'm real sick of paying $250 for little boxes. I want my own boxes. So probably going to get there. We'll see. I think it's not pass URL in the chat. Ah, I wonder if I can fix that. I also need to turn on some air conditioning. Holy crap. I think so. Okay. Is there a way? No, don't put user in timeout. No. Maybe. Okay. I'll see if I can figure that out. 15. My God. I haven't even started yet. All right, I'll be right back. I just need some air conditioning because it's brutal in here. Okay, we're back, and hopefully not so sweaty. That's that's what we're aiming for here. Okay, if you can't pass the URL in the chat, I need to figure out a way to handle that. That would be super cool if we could share things. I mean, I guess spammers, but who's going to spam my tiny ass channel? You know what I'm saying? What is that? Huh. Okay. What else we got? What can I do before we get to officially start this thing? I don't know. Oh, I guess I can talk about some projects I've been working on, if anyone's interested. It's been a while since I put out a little video. I've been tired. Lots of work. But I have been working on Steam Link. Basically a project to get I've got this beast of a computer, right? 5070 Ti, which I just recently bought. I'm very excited about getting a lot of frames. I've been 4K gaming. But I don't want to buy a console or build like a home theater PC specifically, right? So I've been playing around with ways to get some couch gaming though, because I work in this office and then I stream in this office and then I play video games in this office and then I spend my entire life in this office and I think I'm going to fucking lose it. So like, I've been trying to come up with ways to get out of here a little bit more other than touching grass because like I'm not going to do that. So basically right up on the other end of this wall is my living room with my TV and my Apple TV 4K. Now, if you've never seen Steam Link, let's go ahead and do this. It's kind of awesome. So Steam Link on Steam basically allows you from other devices to stream your desktop to something. And you can basically play games on your PC via Steam Link. Now, you would expect that this would have like crazy high latency, right? Like in my head, I'm like, okay, wait. So I have a controller connected to the Apple TV, and then the Apple TV needs to forward the controller inputs over to the PC, and then the PC needs to bounced back to me. So there's latency there. Latency, right? We just have latency. And on Wi-Fi, it was actually decent. Oh, sorry. I was getting audio. Yeah, so I thought it was going to be terrible, right? And it was not optimal on Wi-Fi. Then I punched a little hole through the wall and ran some Ethernet to the Apple TV, right? And that reduced latency a boatload, like a lot, right? I think I was dealing with 50 to 60 milliseconds of input lag before, which is like playable for non-competitive titles, right? And if you're like not super sensitive to lag. But over Ethernet, I think it dropped a lot to like 30 something. I'm guessing numbers, by the way. I did not run tests, right? But the thing that really sent it over the top is because I've got my PC here and the TV's just through the wall over there, we're well within like the 30 meters of reasonable Bluetooth connectivity, like more like 5-6 meters type of shit, right? And so I was able to just connect my controller directly to the PC, which means the only lag that's happening is from the time it takes the TV to get input from the PC itself. I'm not getting this like double jump of input lag from the Apple TV goes to the thing, and then I'm also getting the video lag. And that makes it like I'm playing Elden Ring on this, which is not like, it's not like playing a first-person shooter, like a competitive game like Valorant or something. But, you know, it's hard, and you need to time your stuff well, and it's good enough, which I was really impressed with. Input lag was always pushing me away from the idea of cloud gaming. Yeah, I totally hear you, but so this is like pseudo-cloud gaming, right? Like it's not in the cloud, it's in your cloud, if you want to call it. It's your network, right? And with all of my devices being on Ethernet and at least my PC's on a 2.5 gig Ethernet connection and my Apple TV's on a 1 gig, it's not bad. It's certainly playable. But the most fun about the whole thing has been setting up emulators, which I will avoid talking about too much on YouTube because I hear that's a no-go. that's not good. But I tried out EmuDeck, right? Let's pop that open. You know what? If YouTube shadow bans me, it is what it is. You know, whatever. Fine for some JRPG anyway, for sure. Definitely fine for that. Yeah, totally agree. So EmuDeck helps you set up emulation for a number of different systems. Big Nintendo watch. Yeah, right? I did not do any Nintendo stuff. Anyways, so I got this set up, and it's such that I can, from Steam Big Picture mode, launch various emulator games just like it was a Steam game, which makes the whole couch gaming thing feel a lot more like your actual your actual console, right? I can sit down at my couch with my controller, launch Steam Link. Big picture mode launches on my computer. I've got Wake on LAN as well. So if my computer is sleeping, Steam Link can actually wake my PC, which is super cool. Makes me feel very smart every time it works, which is half the time. And it's been pretty sweet so far. I have definitely not been playing any Mario Kart or Smash. That doesn't work at all. It's not running Mario Kart 8 on a Switch emulator at 4K 60 FPS. It's not doing that at all. It's really awesome. It's really cool. So anyways, yeah, that's what I've been up to. We're at about 6 o'clock now, so I guess I can start talking about what the stream's really about. I think I'll give it a little bit longer for people to trickle in, because from my time teaching, I remember nobody shows up on time. So I'm going to give it about 5 minutes, and then we'll get to it. But yeah, Steam Link with EmuDeck, if you're running everything through Ethernet, is freaking awesome. And it's a really good excuse to learn a little bit about networking, right? If you're in software engineering as like an undergraduate program, for example, I don't know why, for some reason in class they don't teach you like the basics of IT, which I think is like half the fun, right? I mean, that's kind of like, I'm not quite IT, but I'm more infrastructure oriented than I am software oriented in terms of my interests, which is why we do these like DevOps streams and things, right? And it would be really cool if they taught more about that in school. I had one of those dedicated Steam Link boxes and used it for a long time, even over wireless, and it was nice. Max res limited to 1080p though, so it's now gathering dust on my shelf. I didn't know about these Steam Link boxes. Oh snap! Yo, Ghost Thread, hey! I really liked your last video, by the way. I replied to the comment that you replied to, and basically saying, like, I definitely did not say what I wanted to say properly, and I, for the most part, agree with you. So it was a shame that comment got deleted, or not deleted. It, for some reason, it didn't go through. I probably forgot to hit the button, but yeah, welcome. Yeah, 1080p, especially with like most TVs being 4K these days, would be kind of a bummer. I didn't know Steam was putting out dedicated Steam Link boxes. And we got to Google that. I've been kind of interested. I really want to take a look at Bazite. Steam Link box? Is there like a thing? Valve Steam Link. Like this guy? Huh. So it's basically like one of those NVIDIA Shields or something like that, but dedicated to Steam Link. That's super cool, man. What was I was having a thought. I had an idea, and I forgot what the idea was. Bazite. They even sold them for $5, just trying to get rid of old stock. That would be kind of cool. Wait, hold on. If I could find one for $5, I'd probably try to put Linux on it. You know, just to see. Okay, hold on. I do want to check this out. So I've been interested in Bazite because I don't want to install SteamOS, right? Because it's not quite complete and it's very locked down in terms of like, I mean, it's like, it's not the full power of Linux, which I know is not its intention, right? So like, obviously, but if I wanted to try something, it'd be something like this. Thank you, bro. Your responses well put. You have very clear explanations, and I understand the rationale. Thanks, man. All right. Yeah, so I was taking a look at this thing because I wanted to build just like a pure Steam box, because Windows always puts up a fight. No matter what you want to do with your frickin' system, Windows is fighting you on it, right? Is this? Yeah, this is fine. We're going to leave it on Discord, so we should be fine. Yeah. Windows is always kind of fighting you on things. And so I was running up against these things, and I knew on a Linux system I could configure it to do exactly what I wanted to do. The only problem is I play League of Legends, and like, most embarrassingly, occasionally Fortnite, you know? And like, basically, if you want to play multiplayer games with like competitive multiplayer games, you're going to deal with anti-cheat systems, right? And they are moving more and more away from Linux, which is really disappointing given how good Linux gaming has gotten. So I've been kind of stuck on Windows. Not awesome. Okay, 6:05. So I guess we can kick this off and take a look at what we'll be doing today. So the idea is this. Actually, before we start, maybe I can do these poll things. Engage with audience. Start a poll. Oh, hey, Plus, if you want to do a stream on how to build your own gaming optimized Debian kernel package, I'm all into it. I have no idea how to do that, but now that you've mentioned it, I'm super interested in the idea. Can I pin that? What does pinning a comment do? Just brings it to the top? Okay, well, unpin. Can I copy? No, don't put the user in timeout. I'm going to copy this and put it in my DB. Stream. Let's make a whole new... You're not all just looking at my face, are you? You are. Yeah, I do that every time. Okay. Before we jump to... We're just going to do a stream qa.md. Cool things from stream. Stream to think about. Cool. Actually, yeah, let's just bring that down to this. That sounds cool. That's what that sounds like. Okay, so we're going to... As I was sort of designing this stream in partnership with CCubed, which is an organization of like computer science students from Canada that I founded some time ago and then handed off. I saw that there were like a lot of people asking for me to start from the basics. So we're going to do our best to do that. And so we're going to start with this. Just a very quick question. Do you know what a Homelab is? Oh, actually, let's start with this. Have you ever installed and used Linux as your primary OS? And this is just going to give me an idea of like the level of expertise in the chat. There's no shame here, right? We're just here to have fun with tech. That's the goal. But knowing what level we're like, knowing where the audience is helps me know what to focus on. And yeah, and when I say there's no shame here at all, I mean like last stream, I thought I was going to walk in like I was the expert, and I had a bunch of people being awesome helping me through a bunch of things that I didn't fully understand. So I was out here humbled during the stream, very gratefully. And so this is not a place of like judging you for not having installed Arch Linux today, right? Like whatever you're up to is cool. 1000 hertz, full preempt, USB, no sleep in kernel configs, and a quick and lazy make K package. Deprecated, but really nice. Okay, I'm going to take a look at that because that sounds really cool. And that also sounds like it would help me study for my Linux Foundations Certified Systems Administrator type stuff. That would be really cool. Cool, man. Thank you. Okay, what do we got? 62? 62% no. Okay, cool. So we've got some like Linux noobs in the chat, and that is awesome because that means we get to have some fun. We get to do some teaching. Okay, we got 13 votes. That's a fair number. Let's do a couple more before we get to this. How many of you are from the CCubed event? Oh, are you? I gotta phrase these properly. Are you from the CCubed event? Cool. Had to download Ubuntu for a class once. Oh, cool. That's that was my first Linux distribution. Okay. 8 votes. Wow. We're at like a 50-50 split. Only for server needs. Nice. Okay, fair enough. These days I've been using Linux mostly for my servers. But I've been wanting to get back into desktop Linux. Like, I did my stream last week, and I was on Mac OS, and things were just being annoying on Mac. And I was like, man, if I could just... And I was also testing out Final Cut Pro, and it was annoying. I liked DaVinci Resolve better. I don't know why. Probably familiarity, probably skill diff, right? But I've already got experience with DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve works on Linux and on Windows, so we get the cross-platform benefits. I could run Linux again. I get the feeling I'm just going to end up bouncing back and forth, as usual. Okay, cool. So 14 votes. We're not quite a 50-50 split, but we do have some people from CCubed. Cool. Okay. That's fun. And let's do one more thing. How many of you, let's see, have a Homelab? This, I assume, is not going to be a lot of people. Oh, wait. Let's do... No, we know students from CCubed, so... Yeah, let's do this. We got one... Oh, I mean, I've got a Homelab. What is going on with the poll? It's just like bopping around. We got some Homelabbers, and we've got a majority not Homelabbing. Very cool. Very fun. I like it. Okay. How many? Yes, no. Sorry. That should be, do you have a Homelab? Yeah. I phrased that fantastic. Oh well. Okay, cool. So we've got some Homelabbers and we got some people who don't. That's awesome. If you do have a Homelab, let me know in the chat. It'd be cool to hear about what you've been up to and what you're looking forward to with this. Wanted to play Day of the Tentacle Remastered yesterday on my Linux desktop. Native version had no audio on Pipewire. In the end, I ran the Windows version using Proton. Yeah, I've been really astonished at how effective Proton is, right? Like, I sort of expect that the native Linux version is going to be best, right? You know, like the native version is better. This seems to be common sense. And then you run it through Proton and it's just like, I've got like 15% performance improvements and like no issues with weird audio and stuff like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Proton has been a huge gift, I think. Okay. Hey, new here. Do you use Linux full time? If not, why? Or if not, why not? That's a great question. I don't use Linux full time. I use Linux a lot. I use Linux. I've been a full-time Linux person before, but for me, I just like everything tech-wise, right? Like, it's really easy to be a Windows hater or a Mac hater or an Ubuntu hater or like whatever your thing is, or maybe you're a Debian guy and you just like hate Arch Linux users, right? Whatever it is, it's really easy to become a hater. But you have the most fun in tech when you don't hate things and you just try lots of stuff. So the reason I'm not a Linux full-time guy is because there are needs and use cases for any system. I use Windows to play rootkit kernel level anti-cheat games. I use Mac OS because my job gave me a Mac and I wanted to learn how to use Mac OS properly. Also, I do like the Apple ecosystem. It's pretty great. I use Linux distros, like desktop Linux, to feel smarter than other people. It feels nice to use a Linux system, especially those tiling ones. But, you know, sometimes you get snagged on hitches. What else? Linux for every server, though. I'm not running, like, Windows Server. I haven't gotten down that rabbit hole yet. I do kind of want to learn PowerShell, but, you know. I feel like developing and setting up the dev environment was easier on Linux. Yes, 100%. Oh, my God. So much easier to set up development on Linux. That's like, to me, it often feels like it's harder to use your computer, harder to use Linux for, say, like Zoom calls and meetings and things like that, but it's much easier to develop. And Windows is really good at Zoom calls and Microsoft Teams and those things that envelop the business world. But so you have this weird trade-off. macOS feels like a good middle ground, which is why I think a lot of software developers at professional, like in industry, end up with a Mac. But yeah. All right, what do we got? Remember old times when I was young and naive and thought that Steam Machine's utopical idea will boost up Linux gaming. I feel like Steam has boosted Linux gaming a lot. Like, Proton has been fantastic. I mean, you can game on Linux more than you ever could in the past. 42U server rack in my home office. That's so cool. Highly recommend becoming hopelessly addicted to Homelabbing. Awesome. Regarding Homelabs, I'm running 4 machines, 3 of which are various Debian-based OSs, respect, running Docker containers, and my last machine is an old PowerEdge cast-off running TrueNAS. That's dope. Obligatory Arch, by the way. Yeah, sometimes I just say, yeah, I had an Arch system, by the way. I did. I've used it before. I set up Arch with ZFS boot menu, which was cool. But it's... Sometimes you get haters, and it's really useful to just be able to say I had Arch. It kind of shuts up a couple of people. How does Talos Linux work? I've never seen that. I have no idea. Talos Linux. I feel like we're going to get nothing done today. I'm just going to keep chatting with chat. The Kubernetes operating system. Is Linux designed for Kubernetes, secure, immutable, and minimal. Support cloud platforms, bare metal, and virtualization platforms. All system management is done via an API. That's really interesting. I might play around with that at some point. When I went full-time on Linux, the world of developing was a whole new world for me. Now I have had a server for 7+ years, which is Linux. If it wasn't for Steam, we wouldn't have neither Proton nor Steam Deck. Yeah, 100%, but old times it was sound like total utopia. Yeah, everything. Okay, I hear you on that. It didn't come around as quickly as we had all hoped. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we were all super stoked for Linux gaming to be just amazing immediately. And it has been like 10 years, and we're dealing with... Now Linux gaming is really good for single-player and co-op games, but competitive gaming and anti-cheat is still a huge problem, you know? Okay, cool. Let's start talking about what we're actually here to do. Let's do some Kubernetes stuff. So here's how I'm going to handle this. I'm going to, pop this over here. I'm going to go through kind of my whole process for doing a project like this, which means we're likely not going to get a ton done today. We're probably going to install Proxmox and poke around and talk about what VMs are and things like that, because we have a lot of people who have never used Linux as their primary OS. So, like, there are a lot of people we're going to need to... I mean, in general, it's just going to be nice to be able to talk about all of the basics. Runs out the door. Yeah, my bad. I shouldn't have got down to work. So I want to go through everything. I also know that there's a bunch of students in chat, and I want to talk about, like, the process of solving a problem like this. Why are we doing this? How do we map out a solution? How do we use new tools like generative AI to help us, but not rob us of learning opportunities, right? That's kind of what I want to do. So let's get started. First things first, I keep a database or a digital brain of notes. I use Vim for this, and it's all just markdown. I find this super helpful. Anytime I'm setting up a new system, I just keep details of what I do to that system in this markdown file, so that 1, I can put it on my blog, nathanlaundry.com, and 2, I know what the heck I did and why I did it, which sounds ridiculous until you come back to a project you've been working on 6 months after you took a break. So having these guides is super useful. So let's talk about what we're doing. First thing I want to do is go to this Homelab index. Basically, what I want to do is start self-hosting. Let's do a little start. Oh, maybe I can do this. What is this? Ask questions. How does this Q&A thing work? What the heck? It's losing its mind, and now I can't see chat. Oh, it's just separate. Huh. Sorry, guys. I'm still learning how the heck streaming works. So, wish me luck. The idea is this. I want to host a couple of services. So, let's do this. Why? What is this for? I want to self-host a few services. How many of you know what I mean by self-hosting? Have you ever self-hosted things? GNU screen plus Vim plus a tiling terminal emulator. Oh, I totally agree. I'm a Tmux guy, but I know what you mean. So I want to self-host a few services. How many of you know what I mean by self-hosting? This is if you know what Homelabbing is, you know what I'm talking about. Basically, there are applications that you can host for yourself on your own infrastructure. So when you have when you log into, I don't know, Google services or something, or Spotify, right? There is a server somewhere serving you data there, and you've got a client, right? Yep, just hosting at home. The only difference is I'm moving that server into my house and running that stuff myself, as opposed to cloud hosting. Exactly. So what do I want to host? I want to host probably Home Assistant, and I want to host, there's something else. Oh, Jellyfin. That's what I'm looking to do. Just going to get that out of my way. These are the two services I want to host. Now, there are a lot of ways to host things. Self-hosting. Hosting a service on your own hardware, whether it be a rented server or a server at home. Yeah, exactly. So I want to self-host a few services. They are Home Assistant and Jellyfin. That's my start. Probably going to do things like Minecraft server and all sorts of crap later. But these are my two goals, and it's useful to know why you're building a system as you build it because it helps you. Cue the Plex versus Jellyfin argument. Please have at it. I'm doing Jellyfin because Plex has pay for things, and I'm freaking self-hosting, man. Like, I'm not paying for, like, I will happily donate to a foundation running a service I like, but I'm not interested in paying for services I'm self-hosting. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Have you ever hosted a PXE server? I haven't. I think I've heard of PXE. PXE server. This is pre-boot execution environment server. Huh. Nope. No idea. Sounds kind of cool though. Plex has progressively gotten worse. Yeah, I've heard some enshittification stuff happening there. Okay, so this is what I want to do. Now, we could just run these servers in virtual machine, or we could run these servers on bare metal, right? So that means I take a PC and I just run the service directly on that machine. The reason we don't do this as much anymore is because if you want to run, let's say you have a really powerful server that could run lots of stuff. Installing a lot of services on the same machine leads to confusion, right? You're like, there's ports and services all running, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. So we get these conflicts, it becomes harder to manage. So what do? We could, this is very common pre-containers, we could run a bunch of separate VMs, or lightweight VMs are fairly common in the Proxmox world as well, with one service per VM. Something like this. The reason I don't want to do this, let's say I've got this mini PC here with 14 cores. It's like an i7, which is pretty dope, right? That means I'm limiting the number of services I can run, if it's one service per VM, to the number of cores I have, minus some amount for the host, right? But I'm unlikely to need that much horsepower per service, right? I don't need an entire separate virtual machine. So we run containers. Containers, I'm not going to get into all like that in too much detail unless people have questions, and then we will ask Claude for a better definition than I could produce. But there are these isolated machines that share the kernel, and basically they provide us better isolation, but easier to manage sort of resource and more dynamic resource sharing. That's the way that I like to think about it. When it comes to Home Assistant, don't use the Docker version. HAOS VM allows all the neat add-ons. Let HA manage its own Mosquito, Zigbee, oh, okay. Let me, when it comes to Home Assistant, don't use the Docker version. That's worth knowing. I was just going to load that up into Kubernetes. This changes lots of things. Let's do this. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for my stream file. And we're just going to pop that in there. HAOS. Let's take a look at that. I'm not just streaming my face, right? Oh, we're chilling. 32 viewers? Holy shit. Welcome, everybody. Home Assistant. Oh, wow. An embedded minimalistic operating system designed to run the Home Assistant ecosystem on single board computers. Have you used QEMU VMs before? I think I have. What was the story behind QEMU? QEMU is what, a type 2 hypervisor so you can emulate like across architectures? Is that right? I shouted you out, man. Oh, thanks. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna run containers. We now have new information that maybe we shouldn't run Home Assistant through Kubernetes, but we're at least gonna do Jellyfin this way, and I still want to learn some Kubernetes, so we're doing that. But we might do Home Assistant in HAOS. So I'm going to grab this link. I forgot how this works. I think the link goes here. Sorry. Okay, we can open up Claude later. Home Assistant OS. So we might have a new plan for this. Cool. So it looks like we're going to do the following. Use we need to talk about Proxmox now. So yeah, I'm interested in running containers because it's fun, it's cool, that's what I want to learn, and it'll allow me to run a number of services. But a little bit of extra flexibility comes from, a lot of extra flexibility comes from separating out this i7 with 14 cores into a bunch of virtual machines. So it's kind of going to look like this. Let's talk about Proxmox. How many of you know what Proxmox is? Let's do poll time. Start a poll. Do you know what Proxmox and VMs are? And I'll be right back. I've had quite a bit of coffee, and I gotta go. I'll be right back. Okay. Hands washed and ready to go. Let's do this. Weather is beautiful in Norway. Nice. Okay, let's see. I'm currently only Docker containers. What is the benefit of K3S? For your Homelab, not much. I've done a Docker setup before, and it was cool. I learned a lot. I'm switching to Kubernetes not for advantages, but because I want to learn Kubernetes. That's why. What do we got? Yes. When it comes to like the actual sort of cloud environment, when you're using Kubernetes professionally, Kubernetes, my understanding is it's really good at orchestrating a lot of separate resources into a cluster. So let's say I have like a bunch of EC2 instances on AWS. I can use all of their horsepower dynamically by bundling them into a cluster, and Kubernetes orchestrates where to run containers as if it's one big thing. That's super cool. You can kind of do some of that with Docker Swarm, but not to the same extent. With K3S and K8s by extension, you can run a service that scales infinitely. Yeah. Had Jellyfin in a container, needed to set memory limits at several levels. Java loves memory. Yeah, it does. And pass a VA API device for hardware transcoding. Are we learning that none of this is going to work well in a container and I should probably run it all in VMs? Just a bunch of like LXCD VMs? That's not what the word is. What are they called? Whatever. Let's install Proxmox at some point. So we have how many people? We know this interface. So most of us know what Proxmox and VMs are. That's awesome. But let's briefly talk a little bit about it. A virtual machine is just let's say a computer is I'm trying to describe this without reusing the terminology. Let's just Google it. Virtual machine description. What is it? Oh, thanks, VMware. A virtual machine is a compute resource that uses software instead of a physical computer to run programs and deploy apps. It's nested computers. It's a machine in a machine, right? LXC, thank you. So why do we do this? So we can split up resources more effectively. Proxmox is a Debian-based... I hesitate to call it an operating system. Proxmox is a set of tools for helping you orchestrate virtual machines. Yeah, pretty much. A set of tools for helping you orchestrate virtual machines. It's Debian-based, which makes me happy because I like Debian. You can install it on top of Debian, although I hear that's not a good idea. Or you can just install Proxmox like you would any other Linux distro. Cool. For my TV server, I switched from Jellyfin to TV head end and added OS cam for totally legal, not at all card sharing. It's a hypervisor. QEMU is a type 2 hypervisor, but it can also get the benefit of KVM, which is type 1. Yes, that sounds about right. So we're going to use Proxmox to orchestrate our virtual machines. You can run it through, there's like a Proxmox CLI, but there's also a really nice graphical interface. And so we're going to do a little bit of both. It'll be fun. Proxmox just released version 9. Really? Proxmox. Last time I installed Proxmox, I remember having to poke around and like change sources because I didn't have a professional version and stuff. This is going to be fun. So here's the deal. We're going to install Proxmox. Let's do it. So learn more. I don't know. Probably I want downloads. Proxmox virtual environment ISO. And we're just going to go ahead and download that thing. Now, last time we used DD for this. We could do it again. I'm probably just going to use Balena Etcher this time. So, I guess another question. Start a poll. Have you ever flashed an ISO on a USB to install a new OS? Something like that. Please feel free to correct my terminology at any point. The idea is not for me to come in here and act like I'm an expert of all things. The idea is that we're here to learn together. Some of us are going to know more than others about all sorts of various topics. I am likely to know the least most of the time. So, it'll be fun. Okay. Have you ever used the Proxmox helper scripts? I've heard that helps with annoyances at the beginning of the post-installation. I haven't. That sounds kind of cool. Proxmox helper scripts? That's Google time, baby. Proxmox helper scripts. Oh, I like this. This is cool. Let's take a look. Home Assistant container. This is very cool. Okay. I think what we're going to do, because this seems like a really useful tool, after they were found out to basically be... Really? Oh, man, seriously? I really liked Etcher. Aw. Why does everything suck? Here's the deal. I want to do a bunch of things from scratch to show off the debugging process. So I like this helper scripts idea, and I'm going to keep track of it. But at most what we're going to do is crack open the scripts and take a look at what they're doing and try to figure out what it is, right? Because if we do, then together we can learn some stuff. If we copy paste, we're not going to learn very much. Cool. So we've got the ISO. I've got a USB thingy, and we're going to flash some stuff. I'm once again out of USB ports. One moment while I find something. Yeah. That'll do. I don't know what that was supposed to be. Keyboards. What are you doing? Okay. Okay, just in case, I'm going to pop over to my face real quick to make sure I don't accidentally dox myself or something. You know what I mean? That would be not tight. Okay, sweet. Wow, I look terrible. Holy, it's sweaty out here, guys. Like I'm Canada is hot right now. Please forgive me for the appearance. Okay, flash from file. Downloads. And I guess from now on we won't be using Etcher. That's tragic. I guess we can always use DD again. Boom. Switching to my face real quick. I have no idea how much of that is going to show. I'm pretty sure I'm going to dox myself at some point, so yeah, no. What are you going to do, right? Belina Etcher was found to be copying personally identifiable information and sharing it with its own servers and possibly third-party companies. Make sure that /dev/SDA is the USB device, of course. Yep, gotcha. Starts recording your keyboard strings. I guess so. Yeah, so I've basically right now, I was trying a full Apple sort of workflow for things, right? Trying Final Cut Pro and all of that jazz. I think, and this laptop is my personal laptop, right? So I think I'm going to dual boot my main PC and have Linux on that and probably run that as my streaming machine, like streaming in dev. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Oh. One thing about these like Homelab-y streams is I have a lot of progress bars. I just have to sit here and find a way to be entertaining during progress bars. You know? Okay. I guess I don't really need this Q&A thing. Y'all are just asking questions in the chat. So we're doing it. How far behind is stream? I wonder. The stream's current bit rate is lower than the recommended bit rate. I don't know how to fix that. Are you guys getting weird stuff? Or can you hear me all right? Things okay, generally? All right, what do we got? Time to break out the Minecraft gameplay in the upper right corner. Don't forget the Subway Surfers. Get better internet. Yikes. Your stream's good. Okay, cool. Yeah, dude. Maybe, like, sometimes I feel like I'm getting old, but holy crap. The like, Subway Surfers Minecraft gameplay slop content is terrifying to me, man. I don't know. I also studied smartphone addiction stuff while like before I dropped out of PhD. Oh, there we go. Anonymously report. Let's not do that. And so I've seen like the effects of this on people, and it's not good, fellas. It's real not good. I don't know. Oh, we're still just on my face, eh? Cool. Let's go back to this. Where's Etcher? Skip validation? Play it risky? No, I'm kidding. Okay, now that we're like a little bit into the chat and we're trying to kill time, I'm curious. Are you from CCubed? Curious how many people are now from that. I'm guessing quite a few more now. Either that or my YouTube community is just freaking awesome. Big tech does look into addiction to get you addicted, and you were trying to reverse that. Yeah, dude, it's terrifying. Like the lengths that they go to, right? They're channeling stuff that was studied and developed in Vegas to make gambling addictive. It's wild. Wow, this really is mostly my YouTube viewers. That's the complete opposite of what I expected. You guys are freaking awesome. Holy, okay. Thank you all so much. And thank you if you're from the CCubed event too. That's also very cool. I'm just very shocked right now. Honestly, with the rampant rise of surveillance, I'm all for taking steps back in terms of mobile phone usage. Yeah, 100%. I'm very interested in making some content on that. I just don't know. Like, I haven't gotten to it yet, but I don't know, man. I don't know. This stuff is terrifying. Okay, so we have our little USB fella, and now what I'm going to do is set up Camlink to capture the thing, capture this box as I go. Hopefully it works. It worked last time. You popped up in my feed. I wasn't even subbed. Are you serious? Dude! Holy! Okay, cool. That's insane. How do you think students going to tech careers can choose paths that work against these big tech addiction industries? That's a tough... Wow. That's crazy. Wow. Okay. Trending on my recommended. Oh, no, man. Caps away. Like, we're here for good vibes. Like, the goal here is to have fun with tech and hang out. So, yeah. This is a really good question from Anna here. How do you think students going into tech careers can choose paths that work against these big tech addictions? Famous today. That's something. Thank you so much, guys. I think I'm going to do first boot. Yeah, I'm going to do the first boot with the built-in monitor, so you guys won't be able to see it. But, because last time we tried this with the NAS, which is not done, by the way, it didn't work unless I had something plugged in. So we're going to do this. Okay. So I really do want to answer this question. Pull us noted. I like that. That's good. What is the best way? Well, first things first, you don't have to work at a big tech company, right? There are a lot of tech careers that aren't. There are nonprofits that pay like 6-figure salaries. That's real, which is super cool, right? Wow, that worked really easily. And so you don't have, like, going into tech does not mean working for a tech company you hate and whose values do not align with your own, right? So right now, I work at Autodesk. None of my stream, by the way, has anything to do with them. So I don't know. I don't know what I need to say to make sure that they're not like mad at me. But yeah, I work at Autodesk. I love what I do at Autodesk. I'm a research engineer. There are things that I'm not allowed to talk about, so I'm not going to talk about them. But I'm very proud of the ethical work that is being done, right? And that makes me really happy, right? The fact that when I look at what I do, I'm not like having a negative impact on the world, right? That's cool. And so I would look at, are there companies that you can support with your skills? Because you have really cool skills if you're in tech, right? You can build awesome stuff. How do you use your skills to support industries or companies or nonprofits or whatever it is that align with your values? Can you make that happen? I come from academia, right? Which is why I'm a research engineer. I went into academia because I believed I could help people. I dropped out of academia because that wasn't the way for me to help people. Not because I think academia sucks. I think there's a lot of like, academia sucks. You know, everything sucks these days. Every YouTube video is like, oh, everything sucks. It's like, no, some things are really awesome, guys. And academia is full of really cool research happening. And there are jobs at these universities doing things like I do, which means you can support research into mental health or education or like new drug discovery that might like cure cancer or like genome sequencing stuff, all sorts of cool things that can be used for good with your skill set. Tech is a skill set that you get to choose to apply, right? So try not to get lulled into this idea that like, I have to work for some evil company. It's like, no, like that's an option and you don't have to choose it. It's harder. It's harder if you're not going to sell out. And also you're not like inherently evil for working for Meta, I think. Probably. I'm sure they do something useful. But when you know that what you're doing doesn't align with what you care about, quit. Right? Like, if you can. So that's kind of my take. Develop your skills such that you are useful, and then be useful for the things you care about. Where was I? This thing, the cam link. Guys, I'm getting there, I swear. That's my rant. Love your take. Thanks. Yeah, I have this feeling that a lot of students these days are getting sucked into a sort of doomerism because tech careers, like we get all this fear about tech careers being, drying up, and there's all this competition, and so you have to be like the right kind of person. You have to just take whatever job, or you have to like build skills you don't care about and all of that. And I don't think that's 100% the case. I think, I think there are ways to enjoy your career in tech. How do you define the reformed and reformed productivity bro? Yes, my website. Reformed productivity bro. I had like a little hustle culture kind of moment. I was entering my master's degree, and I've always struggled with anxiety, sort of like reformed gifted kid or like former gifted kid kind of situation, right? Okay, so the cam link is not working. We'll deal with that. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is. And I just need to reset it. And so it was really easy for me to fall prey into this feeling that everything I do has to be productive or else I'll fall behind, because I've kind of always a little bit felt like that, right? That's just kind of, it happens. It happens. I don't know, to like sort of anxious overachievers, right? Oh, oh, look at that, baby. It's blurry as fuck. What is that? That's terrible. I can't read that. Okay. All right. Well, we'll play with that. Okay, how about this? So I see a lot of really great questions, and I do really want to get to them. So we're going to do this. I'm going to get this ready to install, kind of like going and stuff. Let's do... I'm going to get to a point where we have a loading bar. And then I'm going to go through a bunch of Q&A. Ask me anything. So I see questions about why I dropped out of PhD. I would love to answer that question, and I plan on making a whole YouTube video about it. But yeah, ask your questions in there, and I'm going to get to them real quick after I figure out this blurry ass situation. Wait a second. No, it can't be that, right? Jesus Christ. Okay. It was Mac OS's Studio Light was interpreting this, like the Proxmox screen, as part of my background, which I'm actually not sure how it did that, but it did, and now it's fixed. So yeah, most probably trying to apply background blur. Nailed it. Okay, so we're gonna go through graphical because I'm being lazy. It's more fun to chat than solve problems. Sue me. Blurmox V9. I like that. Do we have questions? Okay. The biggest chungus. Before quitting, make sure you have another job to switch to. Yeah, true. What the heck is happening right now? Another thing you can do to give yourself a little bit of security if you need to quit your job and stuff like that is give yourself a little runway. So, for example, and this is I've been fortunate, right? But this is a thing that I always try to do is I keep like 6 months rent and utilities and things kind of saved up, ready to go. So if something is really, truly terrible and I need to get out, then I can. I picked graphical and I don't have a mouse plugged into this. So we're gonna switch. we're gonna reboot and switch to terminal. That was smart. Class action lawsuit. Guys, I paid for the cam. All right. Oh god. Okay, so I have two interesting questions here. I'm just gonna. How do I make notes of this? Can somebody throw it in the Q&A? I want to answer. Why did I drop out? And I want to answer. There was another one. Yes, 6 months is about 10 to 15K. So it was hard. It was hard to save up, guys. Yeah, that one's not going to age well. There's another question I wanted to ask, or I wanted to answer. Where was it? Oh, how do you define reform? I think I talked about that one. How do I define reform productivity, bro? Cool. Yeah. There we go. That looks more like the kind of thing I'm used to looking at. So yeah, the first thing we're going to do is ignore the EULA. Yes, we're fine to target the NVMe drive. We are not, however, in Austria. Cool if you are, though. Can I type this? I can't see. We're in Canada. Time zones. Keyboard layout. German. No. One weird thing about being Canadian is, unless you're French Canadian, you usually use the American keyboard. I don't throw a lot of accent aigus on my on anything. I really wish I did speak French better, though. I can read it okay, but not a lot of practice. Okay, what do we got? I'm going to pop off the screen for a second here. Oh. That's how I'm accessing it. Okay. Can you see the characters? No? Okay. Whatever. What do we got? I'm actually in Austria. Proxmox head office is just a few Really? That's super cool. Okay. I need to zoom in somewhere. Sounds like an LLM use case dealing with the French. That's funny. Okay. Management interface. What did that? Something like that. Host name. Okay. And do I want to mess with any of this? I think I'm fine with these as defaults. I don't use those IP ranges yet. And I think I'm okay with those what? Yeah. No, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Okay. So each one of these VMs is going to have their own like IP probably, right? So I'm thinking about what IP ranges I want to make use of for the VMs. So actually what we're going to do is take note of some of our stuff. So we're going to go Proxmox installation, and we're going to say we're going to grab some of these configs so we remember them. That's my face. We're going to say gateway address and IP CIDR. Yeah, I like that. Gateway 192.168.100.1 and then CIDR 192.168.100.2 and that's a /24. I'm not going to run more than that many VMs, so we should be okay. Okay. You explained where your headspace was at, but never finished how you fixed it. Ah, okay. Yeah, that's that's a tough one. Okay, so we'll do the productivity bro talk. Just jumped into stream. Sorry if this has been answered already. Are you using PVE 9 that came out this week? I am, yeah. Figured why not? We're starting from scratch, right? So we'll have at it. Yes, this all looks correct. Excellent. Okay, so now we have a progress bar. We can chat. Okay. Let's start with productivity bro stuff. So, yeah, anxiety leads to hyperproductivity when you feel like you need to earn your place in the world. And I was like doing a ton of stuff. I was like running CCubed, doing my master's, and volunteering at the PhD lab that I eventually started my PhD in, all at the same time. This was also during COVID, right? So nonprofit, master's degree, writing my thesis, volunteering, basically full-time hours at this lab that eventually picked me up. It was insane. And the truth is, the matter is, like, I burnt out multiple times. Like every 4 or 6 months or so, I just have this huge crash. Just not good. Full on, like, depressive episodes, unable to get out of bed, that kind of thing, right? And at some point, when you're doing that long enough and you have loved ones in your life that kind of like are like, hey man, this is not good, you kind of check yourself, you know? And so I guess at some point I realized that this cycle was happening and that I needed to make it stop because like it wasn't healthy. And not only was it damaging me, it was like hurting my loved ones because they had to watch me go through this, right? It's just not good. So it's been a process. I would say like my last big, like this like big pivotal moment where I decided to sort of take on a new healthier mindset, coming up on 3-4 years ago now. But it's been a lot of work. Like I journal every day and stuff. Been through therapy, kind of like working there. I feel like a lot of people will go to therapy and then learn what the problem is. And because they feel like they know what the problem is, they're done. But that's not true. Knowing what the problem is like step one. Then you have to do a lot of work. Like the way that you think is something you practice. Just like you practice problem solving computer problems, you practice problem solving like as you go through life. And if your problem, your main tool for solving every problem is to just work harder, you will burn out every day. Like you're just going to keep doing it. And so it had to be this thing where like I would catch myself. I would see like, I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling anxious. I guess I'm going to work harder. And then I would have to go, no, Nathan, that's not what we do anymore. And I've been doing that for years. And I still struggle with it. I still overwork myself and stuff like that. But, you know, you practice, and I'm a lot better than I was before. So that's why I would say reformed productivity, bro. COVID had me at peak performance only for me to burn out after 2 years of 90-hour works. Yeah, dude. Exactly. It's like that. So I feel that. Okay. So that was that question. I will get to PhD dropout stuff soon, but great news. We've rebooted. Progress bar is done. And we're good. So what I'm going to do is shut down this machine, unplug the bootable media, power back on, and see what happens. The ideal situation for this is that we boot into Proxmox, and it'll tell us what the like IP address of the like the web GUI is, and then I can go grab it. Found volume PVE. Okay, this looks normal-ish. Okay, sweet. So I should just be able to, in a browser, go here and get a web interface. So let's try that. I'm gonna go here. Nailed it. Okay, and we're gonna close this. Where are we? Where's my... Oh, I've got an interesting question. I want to take a second for this before we pop into the web interface. So Anna asks, if you were back at square one trying to break into industry, how would you prioritize your time between building technical skills and networking/building connections? That's a cool question. I think, how would I balance my time? I think they go hand in hand. So like building technical skills is something you can do in a networking capacity. So for example, let's say I go to a hackathon or a conference, right? I can build a lot of technical skills during the hackathon while also meeting new team members and networking. So anytime you can get those 2-for-1 deals, do that. Show up to your student events and things like that. That's huge. And then for this idea of like building technical skills, I've come to the conclusion, this is another reformed productivity bro thing. You cannot learn everything. And in tech these days, I know that students, I myself feel this way all the time, feel like you have to learn everything right now. Right now. And that's impossible. You will not learn everything tomorrow. It's not, and you will feel terrible trying. Pick a handful of things. So go breadth first, right? So in first and second year, just touch as much interesting tech, anything that grabs your attention, go ahead and do that. Go to talks, whatever. Third and fourth year, I would recommend, or if you're not in school, no problem, just think about going breadth first, exploring, take note of what's interesting to you. And then once you've done enough exploring, and that you can go by vibes, deep dive something that seems really fun, and then just focus on that. And when something draws your attention away, right, where you're like, oh, this sparkly new technology that I might want to learn, pull yourself back. Say, I will learn that later. That can be really helpful for balancing. Okay. Good question. I'm going to pop this over here. We're going to go top chat. We're going to pop this over here. Stream is a bit laggier now. Your audio is fine though. Okay, I'll see if I can improve. I'll. It's gonna take some time to figure stuff out. Let me know if things get really bad. Oh, I forgot the port. Okay, interesting. We'll take a look at that. As someone in his late 50s, I would suggest that contacts are very important. Those connections will help you when you're looking to move. That's very true. I have gotten pretty much every job I've ever had, which is not that many, to be honest, through my connections. It's very rarely been that I like raw or like cold interviewed and just got a job that way. Okay, 192.168.100.2, 8006. Okay, interesting. So we have our first interesting problem. Proxmox is telling me it is hosting at this IP address. But when I go to that IP address, I don't get anything. Why? I don't know yet. So this is what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do is ping it. What's the IP? .100.2. Okay. .100.2. And we're just going to see, do we get things from it? We do. Okay. That's interesting. Did we get the correct IP address? .2. We did. All right. Do I have... I forget exactly what this works. Let's do man curl. Curl is a tool, blah, blah, blah. So if you're not familiar, curl is a command line tool that you can use to, that's not what I wanted to do, to basically grab things from different URLs from the command line. Kind of cool. So right now what I'm doing is using the man pages to look for what those, like what reasonable flags I could use. I hope you're all on the... You guys with me here? Yeah, cool. -B. There are so many flags. Okay, whatever. Do I have TLDR? Curl. That might help. Why is TLDR incredibly slow? Okay, let's just try. It wouldn't be HTTPS as a problem, would it? We're still looking at the PVE login screen. Sorry, guys. Drawback of a tech job is that you'll never stop learning, adapting, and renewing certificates. It sounds amazing when you're young, can become a bit tedious after decades in the business. Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks, guys. Good catch. Installing Proxmox on a remote server sounds very cool. The important part is not to get overwhelmed. Yes, I agree. Try not to get overwhelmed. -K is the most important. Curl param. Ignore your old root certs. Ah, very cool. Okay. I want to try this. What are we getting? Failed. Couldn't connect to server. Okay. Okay. Can I SSH into it? Let's try that. I think maybe some ports aren't open. That could be it. You missed the port. I tried it in the browser. Oh, I guess none of you saw that. That's a mistake. So... So if I go just write this from scratch, 192.168.100.2 colon 8006 slash, we get nothing. That's weird, right? Now, we know that that address is working correctly-ish, right? We're pinging it, we're getting stuff back, so it's on my network and accessible in my network. So I'm gonna guess some ports didn't open up properly, but I don't know why. So we're going to jump back here and go to Camlink and log in and see what's up. Oops. What? Okay, interesting. My password's not working on this either. Did I misset my password? That would be annoying. All right, we might do a quick reinstall because if I don't have root access, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with this thing. Any suggestions? If not, we're going again. It's hard to keep track of what the heck you're doing when you're also talking to chat. I have no idea how these like tech streamers do it. How do you stay productive while also chatting with a lot of interesting people? I don't know. I'm gonna call this a wicked success if we if we get Proxmox installed and set up a VM. Because this is the goal of this is to be like a 4-part series, and we're also learning a lot. Like we're probably gonna not run Kubernetes, not run a containerized version of Home Assistant, and instead run that in a VM. So lots to learn, lots of fun. HTTPS and missed the port. Yeah, I so off screen because I screwed it up. Off screen, I did try HTTPS and the port, but yeah, I was trying to switch it up to see if anything good happened about that. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. HTTPS will need the -K of curl for the IP. The certificate will certainly not be valid. Also, -V for curl tells you a bit more about the error. Oh, V for verbose. That makes sense. Okay. If things are wonky after this quick reinstall, then we'll take a look. Now, I have got... It's so blurry. Those look like 8s or 0s. Start a poll. Are those 8s or 0s? I don't know. We're gonna find out. These I don't like as much. Oh, I'm using the wrong keyboard. That explains it. Okay. Host name. Something like that. Okay. IP address. This is and gateway address. Oh, I can actually just test these. So they were 8s. Okay. So let's do this, and I want to make that. Why would it start there? Let's do this. Let's do that. Zates with the 8 a slash. Zates with the 8 with a slash. Huh. Okay. We're going to try this. I'm going to mark that down in my notes as well as new stuff. I'm dealing with 2 keyboards here, guys. This is not the easiest thing ever. So 10.0.100, and then I've set that there, and then we're going 10.0.2. Yeah, okay. That could be the play. Well, let's try it. Multiple keyboards. This is not easy. Okay. DNS server address. Nice. Nice. Maybe you try to stay on the same subnet as your LAN, and your DNS is public. Awesome. I did it, guys. Okay. What do we do about that? Well, it's already been on screen. Now I need to figure something out. But in the meantime, we just keep going. It is what it is, right? Okay. At least you're not streaming to show everyone the issues with multiple keyboards. Yeah. What was my question? What did I pop in here? Are those 8s or 0s? Yes. I'm really killing it, guys. Are those 8s or 0s? Yes or no? That's fantastic. Hold on. Let's this is what's going on. I have the Mac set up. There's my thighs and my keyboard. It's a time. Switching back and forth, especially because I use that I use the sort of the Keychron keyboard most of the time for my stuff. I just pull this out for when I need more than one keyboard. What are you going to do? When you log in on the PVE teletype, use root and password you used in the installer. Yep. I will do that. Yeah, as I said, it's simpler to keep everything in the same subnet. Okay. We will play around with that. I've used Proxmox exactly one time. Actually, I'm going to jump over and show that off because it's kind of cool. This was, as I was learning like virtual machine stuff, also Keychron keyboards are sweet, right? I did the whole like keyboard thing a while back, and it was super fun, and I eventually settled on this Keychron. I built a lot of more expensive keyboards for some friends and folks that I was, I don't know, what do you call them, clients? But I landed on this, and I've been pretty happy. So anyways, the last time I dealt with Proxmox was when I built this, like, I was trying to learn VMs and Terraform and things like that, and put together Proxmox Cube, which was like a K3S cluster, fully automated on Proxmox with Terraform and Cloud Init and stuff like that. But it has been 6 months. So it's been a while. I am forgetting lots, and honestly, my networking skills need some work. Like, I would not consider myself the king of TCP/IP. You know what I mean? So we're rebooting Proxmox, and we'll see what that lands us. Also, as a heads up, I am always open to advice and things like that. So don't be shy to backseat me a little bit, because as you can tell, I have no idea what I'm doing. How do I feel about the Keychron Q11? I know nothing about the Keychron Q11. Let's take a look. Split keyboard. K6. K6 is pretty sweet. What is this guy? What do we got? Oh. I feel like I don't have $200. That's what I feel like. I think split keyboards are really interesting, and it's cool that Keychron's given it a shot. So we'll see. I don't like these shallow cases. I feel like the audio, like the audio, I don't know, like I don't like the sound of them as much, which is kind of a, you know, a weird thing to hate on, but whatever. Same. I stopped at the K6, limited desk space. Yeah, I've got the Q1, and I like it quite a bit. What do we got going on over here? Okay. I'm just going to pop this over here. Okay, cool. We remembered the password this time. So that's a huge improvement. Guys, like his videos. We only had 10 likes. Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys. Feel free to like. No pressure, but I would like it if you did. Okay, so now what we're going to do is ping this again, which 10.0.100.1. Request timed out. Maybe I got the wrong guy. It was 2. Yep. We're having a tough time, fellas. 10.0.100.2, right? 10, and we're streaming the correct screen. We're not. 10.0.100.2. So last time, ping worked. This time, ping doesn't work. Why might that be the case? What's your IP scheme at home? I got a new router recently because of my ISP, and now I'm not sure. It's 5 on my screen. Why do the 10 likes keep flashing? Subnet issue. Probably subnet issue. I think we're going to do this one more time and just leave the defaults as it is. I think that's what we're going to do. Because I'm trying to get fancy, but I don't know what I'm doing, and that's my problem. And then what we'll do in the future is probably rebuild it as I learn some new networking stuff. So that's game plan. Because I don't have a proper schema. Like I'm just I've been winging it. I don't have any devices running at the moment. I'm also not willing to redox myself by opening like my router's config on stream. So maybe we'll deal with that later. Thoughts? For the Proxmox IP, it has to be the same subnet as your current PC. There's our problem. Thank you, Hussein. Yeah. You guys won't redox me, right? This is why you can't ping it. Smirk. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? See, this is one of the things that I was a little worried about, right? Like streaming writing software, not too bad, right? If I'm writing open source software, what am I going to accidentally do? Streaming Homelab stuff, what might I accidentally do? Is kind of where we're at. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm pretty sure all my stuff's fairly well locked down. Okay, now, what I'm gonna do this time is not cam link this, and instead just use my little screen at home off the stream. And we'll take it from there. Homelab stuff is worse to stream. Been trying to think of a solution for not doxing yourself on stream, but I am out of ideas, beside writing a Python script that scrubs what you configure for IP. Yeah, right? Like it's tricky. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Because I also, like a little while ago, I wanted to do a YouTube video on some of the AWS stuff I'd done. Because I just re-hosted I just like redid my website, right? And I really don't want to spend hours blurring out like AWS account IDs and things. That doesn't sound like fun. So, I don't know. It's a little tricky. It's a little tricky. But like streaming is just so much fun. So, I don't know. Don't forget to uninstall the French language pack. No, preserve root. It's so easy to dox yourself when you're doing system and yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Seriously? There we go. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like I might have to be much more curated about what I stream and things like that. Or prep materials, which I really don't want to do because I'm lazy. Like I have a full-time job, you know? It's tough. Host name. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to leave the defaults as they are and let that install. Not very Slack. Yeah, I mean, like, I like making videos, but I've always preferred this sort of interactivity stuff more. Like, back when I was a teaching assistant and things like that, I always enjoyed running tutorials, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with these streams. But, damn, it's tough. And I really don't want to write code on stream. It's not what I have fun doing, you know? All right, gang. Here's what we're gonna do. we're gonna brainstorm a list of ways I can dox myself. Have at it. Maybe we can come up with enough things that I can avoid doxing myself. In preparation, coding plus Homelab plus chat is everything you need for your stream. Yeah. Let us count the ways. Yes. Help me out. Cause yeah, I don't know. I'm just like Homelabbing is more fun for me than writing software. Like I'm an okay software developer. Wouldn't consider myself amazing, but yeah. If it's easy to dox by simply Googling, so dox gets only easier from there. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, my network is closed down, right? I don't have any ports open or anything like that. So I don't know how much I can lose here. What are you going to do, right? That netstat command above will show you default gateway. Might help with the Proxmox subnet issue. Okay. OS int. Okay. You don't need to open any ports up if you're going to do your Homelab locally. Yeah. When I was looking at remote access, I was playing around with Tailscale. And that's been pretty sweet, you know, for not opening ports and things. At one point, I was actually hosting my personal website from my network, which was giving me anxiety, but I also hadn't made any YouTube videos or anything yet, so I was virtually unknown. There wasn't really much threat. Tailscale seems overkill though for what you're trying to do. Well, it's unnecessary for like within my home, right? But it was really cool. Like when I first started Homelabbing, like about a year and some ago, is it 2 now? I don't remember. I did it from BC. Like I was visiting family and I just had this little Debian box running. And I got to use Tailscale to like connect to it from BC, which was super cool. NetBird is the same as Tailscale, which is both free and open source. Ah, very cool. Maybe I'll take a look at that. I have admired how easy Tailscale is to use. I haven't looked at many alternatives because it was so good, but I'm always interested. Is there a way to like people's comments? No? Huh. I wish I could. That would be nice. Oh, as a quick question, has anyone seen ads? I think I turned off. I think I turned off mid-roll ads and stuff. Because what am I going to do? Make $2? Like, just doesn't make any sense. No ads? Okay, sweet. Yeah, I figured it would be best if I do no ads until I get big enough that I can become a proper sellout, and then we're cooking. You know what I mean? Okay, so currently, by the way, update. Nothing. I don't know what's going on. We've got interesting problems going on over here. Interesting problems. Don't become a sellout. You got your OGs here. Yeah, no, don't worry. I'm just kidding. I don't think I'm that good at making money. Like I don't think I could sell out very well. You know what I mean? Like that takes a certain amount of skill. Okay, so where are we now? I am trying to boot up again. I've got Camlink hooked up, and I'm hoping that this starts. And we can get some video. She's dead, Jim. It's tough out here. Some original Star Trek right there. Third reinstall is the charm. Maybe. Can you tell I'm really good at this? Yeah. That install definitely didn't go well. One more time. No problem. One more time. Remember at the start of the stream when I said I would consider it a big success if we installed Proxmox and played with a VM today? Yeah. FedEx is terrible. Yeah. Like Canada Post is fantastic. I mean, we're currently dealing with a strike, but that's really because they're seriously just not willing to pay the workers reasonable amounts. So like, I don't blame them for being on strike. But when Canada Post is doing the thing, it's doing the thing. When I see FedEx or Purelator, I know I'm about to have a really bad time. That's yeah. Sometimes it's easier to reinstall rather than debug the issue. Yes, agreed. I think my HDMI cable is also terrible, which might be suboptimal. I'm also really hungry. Learned that from debugging AWS AMIs. Ooh, that was something I was working on a little while ago, building AWS AMIs with NVIDIA stuff for like HPC. Fun. Honestly, fairly fun. I do like what I do. I do. I'm to be completely honest, I'm still absolutely flabbergasted at how many people are watching this stream right now. I like so. Let me tell a little bit of a story while I go through the third reinstall. Back in COVID, I was in fourth year. I was in fourth year of my undergrad, and I had been like really involved in student communities and things like that throughout my entire degree, right? Running computer science club events and things like that. Oh my god, this freaking HDMI cable. And so, and like that was where most of my friends were too, right? We were all kind of big community nerds running these events. And then COVID hit, and it sucked. You know, like we were all super excited to finally be like the heads of our respective clubs and things, and we were going to run a bunch of cool events and have a great time. And then COVID hit, and none of that was possible, right? So we're all sitting around kind of mopey, like it was our moment, and our moment was passing us by. And then I had this idea. Well, okay, a friend of mine had idea number one, which was we're all trying to figure out how to run events on Discord and Zoom, right? And my buddy Ben goes, I bet Laurier, because I was at Guelph, I bet Laurier is also running their stuff online. We could probably partner with them. And I went, that's a good idea. And then I went, wait a second, could we not run events with everybody? Like everyone in Canada? How I got here was looking on YouTube for Emacs videos and saw a Proxmox Kubernetes installation stream. Looked interesting. That's super cool. I played around with Doom Emacs for a little while. And I've just been like I've been using Vim for such a long time now. It feels hard to switch, but I've always been interested in trying some more Emacs. My master's supervisor is a big Emacs person. Cool that you ended up here, man. I hope I haven't disappointed. I know I've done 0 Kubernetes today, but I hope at least people are enjoying themselves hanging out. Right. Where was I? Yeah, so we started running these events. Org mode is the secret sauce. Okay, I'll finish the story later. Org mode, I have been chasing org mode through Vim for forever. And this is what I've ended up with because Markdown is so good, right? Markdown is so good these days. Basically what I'm doing is just having these Markdown, like a flat directory of Markdown documents that are connected. And then I can just do like Go file stuff, right? Like kind of like, okay, come on now, right? And I can just hop back and forth. I can do a little, right? And you can, let's say I have, let's do this to do a thing. I know org mode does a really good job of capturing to-dos, but I think something like this. What is it? For Vim grep, I need to do, I always forget the syntax. Come on, I know this. I read the book. Something like this. And then I can do, is it this guy? No, it's never. Yeah, hold on. We were close. And then I can do a little C open. I'm close to the syntax. I forgot it. You can tell I don't do it too much. Sorry, everyone. Didn't mean to derail his story. No problem at all. I'm like very easily distracted. Okay. Anyways, I'll jump back into that and show off my digital brain stuff more later. Where was I? I was talking about running events, right? And so we're all running events online, these clubs and things, all over Canada, right? I'm sure it was happening in the US too, but I'm Canadian. So we're doing that, and we start reaching out. I just start cold emailing other universities, right? Like everybody just has student club websites because we're all computer science students, right? We have websites. And I just start searching up what the websites are for the equivalent of my computer science society is for every school. And I sent out, 20 emails. And for the first meeting, a dozen separate universities showed up. It was crazy. Like the amount of excitement, it was just absolutely astonishing. And so we had 12 separate universities, all from across Canada. We had some in Quebec. We had some in Ontario. I think UBC showed up for the first one. We had some in the prairies and Maritimes. It was something. And so we turned it into this organization over the next couple of years, trying to create sort of like a federal level for these computer science societies to share their events and knowledge with each other. And it was super cool. I ran that for about 2 years with the original team. We ran a virtual conference which had like 200 attendees and like academic speakers and industry speakers and stuff. And then we ran a bunch of like casual stuff too, like video game tournaments and such. And it was just a ton of fun. It's been a couple of years since then. I think 2 or 3 since I handed it over. And I thought like the new president's doing a really great job. So I figured I would reach out and ask if they want to run an event together. And that's what this is. This is me running an event with CCubed. And so I figured CCubed, that organization of students, would be my biggest source of audience today, right? I thought we were going to hang out with them and see, oh, I need to ping. And that would be what we do. But it turns out the YouTube gods said, no, buddy, you can have viewers from all over the place. And it's been freaking cool. That's the whole story. It's been super cool just to have so many people show up just naturally, I guess. So thank you all so much for being here. Okay. Hey, this is good news. You can visit. Oh, ho, ho, ho. we all saw that, right? Okay, hold on. I gotta move the chat over so that I can actually. Oh wait, it's right here. Great. So yeah, I'm stoked. Do I have a user, or is this just root? Am I just logging in with root right now? Find out. You do not have a valid subscription for the server. You don't have a valid subscription for the server, so. Okay, cool. So we have Proxmox now. Worked the third time. Third time's the charm. Root/Hunter2. Now, I don't know what I'm doing. So let's just try things. So I guess we're going to have to grab something to run some image. Debian's not out yet. I mean, we can always run Debian 12. What would we want to do? I mean, I almost always run Debian servers. You know what? Let's try Talos today, right? It doesn't have to be what we use, but we talked about it earlier. Let's get a Talos VM working. Why not, right? That sounds cool. A Talos cluster? Okay, I feel like I have to learn more first. The easiest way to try Talos is by using the CLI, Talos control, to create a cluster on a machine with Docker installed. Okay. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Debian 13 testing RC3 installer is out, and Trixie stays Trixie. Yeah, you're right. We did that last time. I think we updated to Trixie. So I think that's a good idea. You can install it bare metal from a guide from the host I use, SSH into your server. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, cool. What is Talos? Talos is a container-optimized Linux distro. A reimagining. Oh, a reimagining. That's. Of Linux for distributed systems, such as Kubernetes, designed to be as minimal as possible while still maintaining practicality. For these reasons, Talos has a number of features. Okay. It's not unique that it's immutable, but whatever. Secure by default, managed via a single declarative configuration file and a gRPC API. That's kind of cool. Creating a simple Talos cluster with one control plane and one plane node and one or more worker nodes. Sorry for sharing a link, Nathan. Thought you wanted the source too and not just command. Oh, did it block you? I don't have... I don't know how to let you share links. I think it's doing that by default. So yeah, don't apologize for sharing a link. I just don't know how to make it so that that's not a problem. That's like YouTube's default thing. I wish I could help you. Maybe this is a reasonable time to start a Discord so that we can actually share materials and things. Okay, so when they talk about a Talos cluster, that's interesting to me. What makes it a Talos cluster? How does this change? And why is it now we have this Talos control thing? And so let me go over my thoughts. Let me go over my thoughts here. So I wanted to use K3S because it felt like a reasonably low abstraction, but without the pain of running K3s, right? Like running K3s would be infeasible in my lab. But K3S was close, right? Close enough. I'm curious about how much abstraction exists in Talos control, because I want to be fairly close to just cube control and learning at that level. You know what I mean? This is cool, but I think I'm going to avoid it for now and do some more reading and maybe do another stream at a different time on this. Just because my goal is to learn to navigate cube control and build fluency with those sorts of things that I would need in like a production Kubernetes environment. That's kind of where I'm thinking. What do you think? Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, let's get Debian on this thing. Let's get a Debian ISO, and we're gonna do Trixie. You can think of Talos like it's only Kubernetes. That's really interesting. Okay, that's a fair point. It was the link to the guide to help you remove your sub pop-up on Proxmox. Oh, is that happening right now? Okay, hold on. We're back at my face only. If I've only got my face, and I'm doing things, don't be afraid to let me know. Debian. Okay. So we're gonna download. I'm looking for. I think Plus mentioned the Trixie downloader exists at this point. Debian 13 testing RC3 installer. And stays Trixie. Nice. Let's take a look at that. August 4th. Okay. The Debian installer team is pleased to announce the third and likely final release candidate. RC, release candidate. Okay, cool. Nice. Where do I download it? I've always found the Debian website kind of difficult to navigate. Am I crazy? Oh, even on the Debian forums. Yeah. You can have Proxmox download the ISO directly. Really? I mean, I suppose that makes sense. It would be kind of weird if it couldn't. We'll try that once I get the thing. My God. This guy. Just Debian testing, not until it's released. Netinst ISO, but let Proxmox do it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to grab this, and we're going to go over to Proxmox. Now, I have no idea how to automate, or how to get this to do the install process. Is there a way we can use physical UCD ISO image? Okay, so I thought maybe you could pass a link during that, but it looks like no. So maybe somewhere over here. Now, instead of not. Typo. Okay. Now, just Debian testing now until it's released. With Debian or other normal distros, you need to secure it separately than on Talos, as Talos lacks SSH or any shell. Oh, okay. All right, gang. How do I get Proxmox to download ISOs? I know I could just SSH and then curl, but is there something here that I can use? All right, it's Google time. Proxmox download ISO. Click on PVE. Okay. And then there's, oh, cool. We have a shell here. That's nice. Bulk actions. No. And then I've read about Ceph. I'm interested. Okay. Next up. We're on PVE. Proxmox. There is a storage thing if you click the little arrow next to PVE. Okay. Storage thing if you click the little arrow next to PVE. Storage. Okay. You can do this. ISO images. Download from URL. Okay, we got there. Very cool. Enter the URL. Download. So I can probably go like this. That's not what I... Right click. Thank you. Copy link. Yeah. Let's do Debian testing Trixie.iso. Hey, love to see you're doing, what I'm doing too. Oh yeah, it's really cool to have a bunch of people kind of like working on their home labs together. Whenever I stream, people are kind of like sharing that they're doing similar things, which is kind of awesome. Okay, I'm going to do a poll now. Do we start a Discord? Here's a doc I made outlining how I got Kate set up with CubeAdmin. Oh, nice. I need to figure out how to get... sorry, been streaming and I worked today as well. Links. How to allow people to share links. The power bill is not fun though. Yes. Yes, agreed. Okay. Sweet. That looks like it works. So now we have this thing. So I think we can just try creating a VM. Node PVE. OS. Now local storage. This guy pops up. Tight. Excellent. We're just going to run this as it goes. Disks, whatever. We're just going to go defaults for now. We can play around with other things later. How much memory did this thing have? I think 2 gigs is going to be plenty. How many cores did it give it? Cores, 1. Let's give it 2. Okay, actually, because we're poking around and I don't want to deal with something that's just like annoyingly slow, let's go ahead and do this. Because we're just poking around. Okay. The power bill is not fun though. Okay. Cool. So some folks are down for a Discord, some folks are not. Interesting. I am a little worried it's on the early side to be doing things like that, but I don't know. Okay, let's start this VM. If we manage to boot this up and install, I'll be a very happy camper, and we can call that a stream. Oops, I'm currently on sample size of 9. Yeah. Out of a sample size of 9. Yeah. You can tell I was in academia, because sample size of 9. This is not what I wanted. I wanted to go here. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. N equals 9? Definitely sufficient. Yeah? Yeah? Okay, cool. So I'm going to pop this over to a different screen. Just going to go here. And let me know if you ever need a mod or something. And if you ever need help streaming. Actually, yeah, that would be great. Let me just promote you now. Yes. That would be useful. Okay. So what do we got going on here? This is our first little Debian VM thing, right? Oh, that's what's happening. I don't think I've ever gone through the installer this way before. Default equals 20, sure. Are we still streaming? Yes, we are. Okay. The selected location will be used to set your time zone, and also, for example, blah, blah, blah. Yes. Default is 16. Is that the US? Yes, it is. We're in Canada. Key map to use. Yes. Give me American English, even though these words deserve use in the correct places, but whatever. Okay, this is what I'm going to do while this goes. I think I am going to try to create a little Discord. And we'll see where it goes. Add a server. Create my own. For a club. And we'll just call it... we're going to call it Laundry Linux Shack. There we go. Okay. And invite people. Edit invite link. Expires after 7 days. Cool. Copy. Why didn't it copy? Give me my link. It won't let me throw it in my own chat? It's my chat. What? Ooh, that's very cool. Okay. Ah, I know how to get around this. Start a poll. Are you for real right now? Holy. Okay. This is fine. Insufficient permissions. Okay, so it won't let me copy paste. PZD. I'm typing this. YouTube does not like us. Seriously. All right. Have you considered making it into a QR code? I haven't. That does sound really cool, though. Put link in video description. We have smart people in this chat. We have very smart people. Much smarter than me. Okay. Now, put link in video description. Edit. Haha. Oh my god, please, I just want to copy paste. It's not that hard. Okay, I'm typing. PZD, SA, P6F. Okay, boom. It's in the video description. You may join. Have fun. We'll figure out how to moderate a Discord community at another time. In the meantime, I'm going to assume all of you people are going to be very nice to each other. And if you're not, that's not cool, man. Be a lot nicer if you did. Okay, please enter the host name for the system. We're going to... Wrong keyboard. Deb... let's just... Deb... VM test. Domain name. Local. Do I need to give it a dot? Probably. What? 2 passwords you entered were not the same. You're lying. Terminal installer is the hardest way possible. It might be easier to restart the installation and select something else in the grub menu. Ah, okay. Let's give that a shot. What do I need to do to make that happen? I need to close this window. Put this back over here so I can continue to see chat. I am going to buy one of those little monitors so I can have chat on like a separate thing. That would be real nice. I use it for work all the time. Put link in video description. What do you use for work all the time? The little monitor guy that I was talking about, or YouTube links? Are we shutting down or not? What's up, gang? I think you have top chat enabled and it doesn't show all messages. Oh. Oh, I've got live chat on the main one I'm using. But here, let's do that. There we go. Okay. Sweet. Why is it taking forever to shut down? Can't lock file. Can't lock file, varlock Kimu server got timeout. Probably because I tried to run a shutdown while a shutdown was already running. Got timeout. Okay. Stop. Let's go ahead and do that. Yes. Yank out power cord. I mean, I think that's what stop does, equivalent, right? Sent link in Discord. Awesome. I'll take a look at a bunch of those in a bit. Kind of hype. Kind of hype that I have a Discord. The gang has a Discord. Does that make me one of those real streamers now? Oh, hey, there we go. Graphical install. I said graphical install. There we go. Does that make me a real streamer? Set your location. Are you famous yet? Feels that way, yeah. I think so. Peaked at 40 viewers today. If that's not famous, I don't know what is. Am I gonna get doxxed again? I'm gonna show my DNS. Okay, actually, hold on. Before that happens. Scene. Boom. We could hope. Hostname. Deb VM test. To be frank, showing your DNS isn't doxing. Okay, that's good news. You can tell that I really need to study some networking because I have no idea. It just tells us where you go to convert names to IP addresses. Okay, so that's what I figured. But what was weird, sorry, not what was weird, what confused me was simply that was a DNS IP that I don't recognize, right? Like it wasn't Cloudflare or something like that, and I don't remember ever setting it. So I figured maybe I at some point had configured some DNS stuff, and it was sort of showing folks where I was, you know? /me goes behind the ATT building in the ally for my DNS. Hello, welcome to Doc Support, where we help docs yourself. How may we assist you today? You basically gave away who's your ISP, nothing else. Oh, okay. I have no problem with that. Y'all know I live in Toronto. Full name for the new user, Nathan. DNS is automatically configured by your ISP. Okay. I'm guessing DHCP from your ISP issued router gave you that DNS. Okay. Cool. Yes, Eastern. Configure the clock. Detect the disks. Well, that's good news. Oh, you guys are still looking at my face. We don't need that. I'm not that good looking, guys. we can stream something useful. Where did my console go? Let's not accidentally open my messages, huh? That would not be fun. Studio. There we go. Why did that? Oh, okay. Face plus trees. See, I have done the Pi-hole DNS thing before, which was really nice, honestly. I definitely want to do that again, and that's something that maybe goes in the Kubernetes cluster. That could be really cool. I've never been one for separating the home partition and all that jazz. So we're just gonna do this. Write the changes to disk. Yes. Open email. Open email now. We'll be using K3S for the first time, or you got experience with that? Complete first time. I've played with K3S before, but just enough to set up a cluster that worked, not actually doing things. I've done Docker systems before, which, you know, fairly easy on a single host. I had like a little N1. Actually, it was one of my first YouTube videos. Was with... Oh, my back. Chewy. This little N100 PC ran like a Minecraft server and my website and some other services and things, and that was pretty sweet. Yeah, that's what I run. One Pi-hole in a Pi, other in Proxmox as a backup. That's really cool. I do split DNS, so it's always fun. Also, Next DNS is nice. I know none of these things. That's super cool. No, I don't want to scan more media. Okay, let me look up Next DNS as just something that I'll take a look at later. There is an AdGuard home add-on for OpenWrt routers. I did run that for a bit. Actually, yes, so I was running... Story time. I was running OpenWrt, that's how I pronounce it, on an N95 mini PC. I have too many of these mini PCs. And that was my router for a bit. And then I was running AdGuard home add-on on that. That was pretty sweet. And then I think the Pi-hole was just for DNS at that point because I didn't need it. Oh, no, was I running both? I don't remember exactly. It's been quite a while. Okay. Mini PCs are nice for the power. They're so awesome. Yeah, I'm happy. When it comes to the Debian Foundation, they can have my data. I don't want a desk. Wait. Yeah, let's install it. Let's do that. Let's do it for fun. I haven't seen what GNOME looks like on this version of Debian 13, and I am considering setting up a new Linux environment, like a desktop Linux environment. So let's take a look at what it looks like. This is not going to be what we install Kubernetes on, so we can just look. Have like 6 mini PCs, also called my Talos nodes. Mini PCs are nice with power. AdGuard Home and Pi-hole do the same, more or less. Different web UI. Yeah. Definitely. I don't remember why I switched. I think I felt like the logical separation of having my ad guard on the router itself as opposed to running in the Docker, like as one of the containers among the bunch, felt more reasonable to me. But I can't recall. Somewhere I have my markdown notes somewhere. Maybe I'll whip those out and see if I wrote down a rationale. Let's go back here. Damn, so cool. So cool. We got a server. I'm very excited. This has been fantastic. Very different from how I thought this was going to go. I think heads up, once we poke around whatever version of GNOME comes with Debian 13, I'll be calling this stream a close. But I will be doing this again next week. My plan is to do this Thursdays 6 to 8 ish. I usually start at 5:30. 6 is when like content starts. 5:30 is when I sit around plugging in cables. So, the new firewall for the modern internet. Next DNS protects you from all kinds of security threats. Oh, this is kind of cool. I'll take a look at this. Pricing. Okay. So, what exactly does this... What are we dealing with here? I see. Okay, so that's Beanfield's DNS. So you set this up as a client on your Okay. All right, we'll poke around this. This is going to be an interesting read. If there's anything, let's do a little channel on Discord. Cool reads and suggestions. So just created a quick channel in Discord, and I'm just going to throw links for things that look cool in there. Things that I want to take a look at later. Wow, this is still installing. I guess I gave it like 4 gigs of RAM and 2 cores, so that makes sense. Jeff Geerling's Internet Pi hole with dashboards. Dude, I love Jeff Geerling. Can we just for a second nerd out about how awesome Jeff is? Like, I have 2 inspiration. What am I, Nixon? That's my inspiration, Nixon. I have 2 major inspirations for like the channels that for what I want to kind of create. Like, one is the Primeagen for sort of higher energy content, because I feel like generally I'm a little bit higher energy than Jeff. Not that low, like being calmer is a bad thing. I just am this way and he's that way. So I like a lot of his style, but maybe a little more toned down and not software. I want to be more Homelab-y. And Jeff's projects are just such an inspiration. They're so cool. I love the way he delivers his videos. It just strikes a really good balance of like telling a story and showing off a cool project while putting the tutorial aspects into Git. Like, I just think that's really awesome. Yeah. I learned a lot about Ansible from Jeff as well. Very cool stuff. We are still installing Debian. Okay. Well, we're hanging out. We can close that. Okay. I missed a cool comment. Next DNS is like Pi-hole AdGuard, but in the cloud. Oh. Very cool. Very cool. I'll definitely take a look at that. But I mean, given we're Homelab folks here, I'm definitely going to be brewing my own thing. AdGuard home and all that jazz. And that's why I use those scripts for making VMs. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, sweet. Yeah, sure. Grab it up. Yes, good. Pi-hole add guard will be useful for Kubernetes related reasons. Hell yeah. So, yeah, it's funny. I forget who asked about the sort of productivity stuff, but one of the reasons I started streaming was so that I couldn't home lab too much, because it gets very tiresome, right? Like to do a day of work and then home lab can be tiring. And I really enjoy doing my home labbing stuff. So it's really easy for me to accidentally spend like 6 hours and then be kind of grumpy and tired because I worked too much, even though I enjoyed the experience itself, right? And so I figured if I make my home lab a thing that I do on stream specifically, right? Then I can kind of box it in and make sure that, well, I can't work on my home lab on a Sunday because I'm, I got to save that for stream. Okay, let's take a look at Debian 13. Wait, what? Press the super Windows key to open it. Shows your apps, powerful search, workspaces. Funny thing with home labbing is if a thing like Ceph breaks, all your services break. I've never played with Ceph. I'm really interested though. Start a poll. Favorite. Favorite. Favorite Linux desktop environment. GNOME. KDE. I don't know. How do you spell cinnamon? Is that it? Can I not add more options? Are we serious? Okay, whatever. I'm just curious what people use on their Linux desktop environments. If you want to really nerd out your home lab and have a lot of time for the setup, take a look at NTO-PNG. It visualizes all traffic in your network and exposes bad device behavior. Very cool. Throw that in there. Okay. I only left Fluxbox. Dude, I remember Fluxbox. I tried that out a little bit. I was doing a lot of hopping. Okay, cool. That feels odd. The Debian logo being off to the side just feels a little icky to me for some reason. It makes me feel like my resolution's not working properly. Okay, so it's not picking up my trackpad swipes through the VM, but that might be asking a lot. Okay, strikes me as GNOME. That's Spotlight. Looks like GNOME. Feels like GNOME. I don't know what version of GNOME is this. Anybody know? It only let me put in 4 options. I wish I could have put more. I literally took this time to install Pop! OS. Dude, I loved Pop! OS. That was that was a personal favorite for a while. I feel icky is default GNOME behavior. Thank you. dpackage-i. That's probably an I. grep GNOME. Okay. --info needs a .deb file name argument. Small l -l. Thank you. Is that just L for list? What's the... I always ask these sorts of questions because I want to remember what the flags are for, and if I know what they're trying to say, it helps. GNOME's 48. We're on 48, it looks like. Yeah. Okay. Small L for list. Okay, so dpackage-L will list all the things. Cool. Is there a way for me to do that with apt? Or just out of curiosity? Yeah. This feels like GNOME. I don't remember the last GNOME installation I had. It was probably about a year ago. So I was probably on 47, 46. GNOME and KDE tied. With a solid 8 votes. Oh, wait. I think it's apt version. Let's try that. Nope. Let's do a little help. Apt. Is this... That's not as nice as the dpackage list. That's for apt might be able to do it. It was not for a long time when it was apt-get. Never bothered to switch. Cool. All right. Here's Debian. It worked. There we go. What have we done today? Let's take stock and then call it a day. Yeah? I think this has been super fun. Pop! OS was not happy with me, so I jumped to Garuda OS, which is Arch Linux based, and I love it. I've heard a lot of really good things about Garuda as well. It's nice to see some good Arch based distros coming out. And because like when I was distro hopping a lot in undergrad, it was like Arch and Manjaro is, well, it's Manjaro, right? So, okay, I'm going to shut this down and then I'm going to minimize this and we're going to summarize. We're going to summarize this stream because I want to remember what I did. Installed PVE 3 times. Yeah. Okay. This isn't even true anymore, so we need to figure that out. We installed this shit 3 frickin' times. But in the end, we got there. Okay. Installed. All right, let me write these notes so that they're actually useful to me. Installed Proxmox VE9 on i7 mini PC. Actually, I should... What is that called? I call it Proxbox. On Proxbox. What else do I need to do? Default settings, DNS and subnets auto detected by PVE installer. That's useful to know. Downloaded Debian 13 ISO via Proxmox GUI and set up a Debian 13 VM. Cool. Well, you installed it. We watched you. I feel like, I mean, while I did install it, I did get a lot of help. The 3 in CCubed stands for Proxmox install attempts. Okay. Downloaded Debian ISO using WebUI. Yeah. Much easier than unpacking boxes from a move. Put that off as long as possible. Dude. Yeah. We moved, my girlfriend and I, about in May. And so my Homelab basically got completely disassembled and thrown in boxes. And yeah, I have been recovering ever since. I did use it as like, it was an excuse to revamp everything with Kubernetes and all of that jazz and be a little bit more intentional about how I use Proxmox and stuff like that. So, you know, there's that. But yes, all my tech is in boxes and it hurts my soul. Okay. So this is pretty much what we did. We installed Proxmox VE9. We used default settings. We downloaded Debian 13. And, that's WebUI. WebUI. And we're just gonna do this. Keep track of that. I think I can get rid of this. No, I still want to... Get rid of this. This can go up here. Like that. Yeah. Cool. Oh, unrelated. Set up a Discord. All right, cool. Is version 9 fully out and stable already? I'm still on Proxmox 8.4 like a loser. Yes, it is. So I'm pretty sure that certifies you as a loser. Sorry about that. Just kidding. Okay. This has been awesome. Thank you all so much for checking out my stream. If you want to continue the discussion, I'll be signing off because it's been a very long day for me. But if you all want to continue the conversation with each other, there is now the Discord. If not, I'll be here same time next week, continuing this along. Thank you all so much. Yeah, and thanks all for your advice. Plus Douglas, Tim, Master Chief, Dennis, the bunch of you have been really cool. So this has been a blast for me. 3 a.m. says it's not a long day. It's Friday for me. Yeah, I'm it's about 8 p.m. for me, 8:30. So, all right. Catch you all later. See you next week.